Determining an overarching nutritional rule for the fire line, first and foremost, we have to know what the energy demands of the job are. Knowing those big numbers helps us strategize how to feed you better on the line. The three big nutrition strategies for the Alpha and Charlie sections of your work shift seasons are to consider a diverse, colorful option of whole fruits and vegetables, limiting your processed foods, and focus adequately on hydration, but don't worry about obsessing about it. Three main components that are critical during the Bravo section of the season, which is essentially when you're on a fire, is you want to focus your nutritional strategies to help you preserve your muscle mass, to refuel the muscle in between shifts so that you're ready to go again day in, day out, and to provide adequate fuels during each shift so that at every phase of that work shift, early part of the day, late part of the day when the fire behavior gets haywire, that you've got enough onboard fuel for the central nervous system and the skeletal muscle. Some of the easiest nutritional countermeasures that fire crews and management officers can throw out there to crews on the line in harm's way is simply altering the way that they're fed or how their mindset looks at how they eat during the day. So the studies that we've done where we've altered the eating strategies during a 12-hour window have been enormously successful. All we have to have people do is eat something consistently every hour to every 90 minutes while they're working. The frequency can be adjusted depending on how hard the shift is. And that can be in any form of food. It doesn't have to be some magic food bar that costs $4. It can be a package of Oreo cookies that were already in your lunch sack. It could be a pack of Skittles. It could be a juice box. And that's the beauty of thinking about the sack lunch differently. You want to have between 8 to 12 eating episodes once you leave camp. That is the go-to strategy that is almost foolproof. And you want to slide those in consistently throughout the day. Every 60, 90 minutes, you reach into another cargo packet, and that's what you pull out for that hour or 60 minutes. Doing that will help you maintain the muscle strength to keep you safe on the line, not only through the early morning parts of the shift, but leading up to the nasty part of the shift when the fire behavior starts to really swirl. Don't think of it as a sack lunch. It's a shift fuel countermeasure that you're taking into the field. It's a tool just like your chainsaw. Increasing the frequency of eating on the fire line doesn't just mean giving them more candy bars or more bags of pretzels or boxes of raisins. And we have 3 research projects to back this up. I can guarantee you, if you eat Snickers bars and Power bars all day long, you're gonna want a sandwich. Firefighters constantly complain about the heft of that sandwich that comes in their sack lunch. They constantly complain about it, and they're not bad. Take the giant sandwich and cut it into 4 pieces. And instead of taking out the whole sandwich, open it up, take out a quarter of the sandwich. Boom, that's 60 to 90 minutes of fuel right there. Here you go, firefighters. It's not complicated. We've made it easy for you. There's no excuse to maintain that food frequency over the course of your work shift. Well, sometimes inadequate nutritional practices on the fire line are a function of what they're provided or how they're provided that food. And sometimes it's self-selected. So firefighters just make bad decisions and don't eat either frequently on the line or they choose the wrong foods on the line. Both have room for improvement. Choosing not to eat enough throughout the day or without spacing it accordingly, like those studies have demonstrated, will compromise normal blood glucose, blood sugar, so you can't deliver fuel as effectively to the working muscle. It also tends to alter cognitive capacity and decision-making skills. Maybe that's not a big issue before lunch, but in the hours from lunch until the end of the shift when the fire behavior can get very hostile, that's super critical. So you want to make good decisions in the morning so you can handle the afternoon when the fire behavior gets nasty. Ultimately, what happens at the end of the day, you're left with a muscle glycogen content that's compromised. And now, because you're not able to get back into camp, you're not going to be able to recover that. So you're going to start the next day with low muscle glycogen. And that's just going to perpetuate bad things in terms of trying to ensure safety from the start of the shift to the end of the shift. So the bottom line with all of these feeding studies is simply strength in numbers, meaning you have to maintain an optimal food frequency or eating episodes throughout the day to maintain the necessary muscle strength to keep you safe.